What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be doing some work on the hatch. So last week I was getting ready to take her over to the track. I was just kind of double checking everything, making sure she was ready to go. And I go to grab my alternator because I know my bracket has a tendency to crack. And of course, she was cracked once again, preventing me from going to the track. So not sure how well you guys can see this, but she is wiggling a good amount right now. Might be hard to see on camera, like I said, but there's a big crack right along the top of the bracket right here. And I didn't really have enough time to take it off and re-weld it, nor did I want to because I've already re-welded this bracket several times. And this is actually the second bracket I've ordered brand new from Innovative. I had the same problem with the first one. It would crack, I would re-weld it, it'd crack again in a different spot, and I would just keep re-welding it until I had no more places I could weld. Then I ordered this second one, brand new, same problem. And at this point, I'm just tired of re-welding this thing, and I'm tired about worrying about my alternator bracket all the time. And another thing is that the alternator does sit a little crooked. It doesn't sit parallel with the crank pulley, and that also kind of bugs me. And I'm not trying to say anything bad against Innovative. We've used a lot of their products, and they work great, but this bracket that they make to relocate the alternator on the H just does not work for me. It's always cracking, and I needed to find a replacement. It's been like the one main problem with my car ever since I've had it together is always voltage issues and alternator issues, and this bracket cracking all the time doesn't make me feel any better about it. So maybe if we have a more solid bracket, I won't have as many voltage issues. I don't know if the belt's slipping every now and then because it flexes, and I just don't know. So I was looking around for another bracket, and I came across this company. They are called QSD. Kind of hard to see. This is one of their little bracket pieces right here. They are very popular for making H to B kits, which is putting a B series transmission on a H22 motor. But I came across their site, and they have this other alternator bracket for sale. How their alternator bracket works is you bolt these two pieces of aluminum down in about the same spot my alternator is, and then you have to find factory single cam D series upper and lower alternator brackets, and then those will actually bolt to these pieces, and then you run a B series alternator, and then you just have to get the right size belt. So you're kind of using pieces from all the motors. You're using a D series bracket, you're using a B series alternator, and it's all going onto an H22. But with this bracket right here, this allows you to use a factory Honda style alternator bracket, which you know is proven to last like forever. You know that's not going to crack. So as long as these pieces don't break, which they look really beefy, I think we'll be fine. So I'm going to try this out instead. So now I need to find a D series upper and lower alternator bracket. I checked over here, I don't have one, but I just called Brent and he said that he has one over at his place. So I'm going to head over to Brent's backyard, almost said PFI, eBay PFI. We're going to eBay PFI, and then I'm going to get this alternator bracket from him, and then I'm going to come back, try to get all that thrown on there, and then I have to find a B series alternator, and we'll go from there. So hopefully I don't have any more issues with this alternator bracket. Like I said, nothing against Innovative. I've just had the worst of luck with this thing. It just always cracks on me, and hopefully we can fix that problem. Why you have to be so far away?
What's up, dude? I know. We need helicopters.
Yeah.
Helicopters or some type of time travel, wormhole.
Yeah, we need like a teleporter.
Yeah, teleporter would be great. Yeah. Yeah, I think.
Or just a high-speed train, yeah, to my garage, to my house, underground.
Beat me up, Scotty. I'm fading. Look at that, huh?
Yep.
Out of Shane's stash. Chris? Look at this, Shane. I was talking to Chris. This is the Prelude bracket. This is what you're gonna need next. Hell yeah. That's awesome. Then you see this.
Yeah, that goes right there.
Oh man. Onto the Prelude motor, so you use D-series alternator. That's tight.
No, you use a B series.
A B?
Yeah, it's a D series bracket, but a B series alternator, on an H. So you're using all of them.
All of them. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's never gonna crack.
No, but it's so much better.
Is it this?
Yeah, because those two holes line up. And then it goes like this.
And then this one goes all the way down here?
Yep. That's it.
Got a plug? Still have everything laying around.
Yep. So we needed OBD2 plug for this alternator.
Yeah, because my H series has a different plug.
And all we have to do is feed this wire 12-volt switch, and the alternator will come alive.
So then what are these other 3 for?
We don't worry about those.
Just don't even worry about them?
Just 12-volt switch that one, and we're good to go.
All right.
That's it.
You heard the man.
Yep.
Only need this one.
That's it. It's race car stuff.
All right, so I just got back from Brent's and I already went ahead and took off the old alternator and bracket. And as you can see right here, the old bracket is completely done for. So right when I took off this top bolt, this top piece of the old bracket completely fell off. That crack went all the way through it. And yeah, she's done for. And as you can see right here, here's a spot I re-welded where it was cracked. It was cracked right up here, cracked along the back, welded it all the way through. This bottom tab has cracked off twice. There's a weld right there, and there's also a weld right there on both front and back. So I mean, this thing has just been re-welded together so many times, and that's just why I'm kind of done with it. I also went ahead and put on the 2 pieces that came with the kit. So I have this upper aluminum piece right here and the lower one. I did have to take the manifold all the way off to get to an Allen head bolt that is right back under here. I couldn't tighten it with the manifold on, so pulled that off, got that bolt on nice and tight, and then put the manifold back on. And now those pieces are in place. Now I can go ahead and put on the D-series stuff. So I have the upper bracket right here, and then the lower little crescent moon-shaped piece, so you can like adjust it. Guess that's what you can call it. But yeah, so this upper piece right here will go just like that, and it looks like it's gonna come really close to my manifold. I might have to barely shave it, but it does look like it's gonna fit. So gonna get this stuff bolted on, and then I'll throw the alternator on as well. This is a B-series alternator that Brent had. He just let me have it, and then he also had a plug for it as well. And like he said earlier, we just need to run this 1 wire to power. And last time I had this car on the dyno, we were having alternator issues before because the plug I had was not making a good connection. So I already have a wire going to straight power for it. That wire already has a spade connector on the end of it, so I can tap into that pretty easily. It's like right down there. So that's something else I need to clean up later on, get an actual like wire ran through my harness and not just like this external one. And then that also needs to go to switched ignition so it doesn't drain my battery over time. But for now, it's getting me by. And yeah, so I'm gonna get that alternator thrown on there, get that wire hooked up, and I also picked up a belt as well. This is the one that they recommended on their website. They had the part number for it. It looks to be about the same size as the one I already had, but I went and picked one up anyways, just in case it was a different size. So yeah, gonna get that alternator thrown on there, get the belt on, get her tight, and see how she fits. All right, so I got the B-series alternator installed. Everything's looking pretty good. I just wrapped this wire around the existing harness for right now. It just plugs in to that 1 wire off the plug that Brent told me I needed to plug it into. And yeah, that looks really good. That bracket looks way more solid than the old one. I don't think I'm gonna have any issues with that cracking. And the pulley right here is nice and parallel with the crank pulley. So it just looks really clean. I'm really happy with it overall. I did have to grind it just a little bit back in here. There's a little gap now, so it's not touching, but I just had to barely grind that because it was coming really close to my manifold, which it still is, but it doesn't hit, so she should be all right. But yeah, so now I'm going to get her started up. I got the battery plugged in. I have my laptop plugged into it as well, so I can watch the voltage, make sure that the alternator is in fact charging. And yeah, gonna fire her up real quick. I also didn't have to use the new belt I bought. I was just able to reuse my old one, so it does take the same size belt as I was already using anyways. And yeah, gonna fire her up and make sure everything's working like it should.
guys, she is charging great. I have never in my life seen the hatch have 14 volts, which is awesome. Before I started it up, it had 12.6 volts. It jumped right up to 13.8, and after a couple more seconds, it's sitting at just over 14 volts. So that alternator is working great.
I just sent a video of the car idling to Brent. I showed him the laptop, showed him the HON data, and that it was making over 14 volts. And he said that he's never seen my car make over 14 volts before, and that's kind of why I sent him the video, because I asked him too. I was like, have you ever seen my car make this much voltage? Because it kind of seemed high to me too. And he said he's never seen it make over 14 volts. At most it was like high 13s. So we know the alternator is working how it should, and I can just tell by looking at that bracket that that thing is not going to go anywhere. I don't think I'm going to have any more problems with my alternator bracket cracking on me, and who knows, it might help me go down the track even faster. It might have been messing up my tune running that old alternator bracket, because it is completely cracked in half right now, and obviously that crack must have started when I took it to the track last, because that's the last time I drove the car, was at the track, and I took it off right now and it is completely in half. So that crack was there, if not all the way through, even at the track. In that video you could kind of hear my car fluctuating boost levels. You could hear it going like rawr, 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 like throughout the whole pool. The boost was coming in and out and in and out, and who knows, that could have been possibly because my alternator bracket was coming loose and all that load on the belt was causing it to slip and just causing some voltage issues, since the boost controller is controlled by voltage and electricity. You never know, maybe that could be the reason. That's just my thought, just a guess. But even if it's not the reason that my tune is acting up, regardless, this bracket is gonna be much better than the old one. It is way more beefy, and it actually sits on there straight, and it's already making more voltage than it ever has. So hopefully this will help my car some, other than just being, you know, a stronger bracket. But yeah, got that all together. And another thing is, I'm gonna try to have this car down in Colorado Springs for the Pikes Peak airstrip attack on Sunday. It starts tomorrow, but I'm not gonna have enough time for sure to get the car ready by tomorrow morning. So I'm gonna try to have it ready for Sunday, since it is a 2-day event. Kyle Loftus from 1320 is down there right now, and he actually said he has a spot if I can make it down there to help me get in there. So who knows, that's some motivation to get down there and get my car into the half-mile event. It's one of the biggest half-mile events of the year, so I think it'd be pretty cool to go to. I just need some tires because my old radials are completely shot, and I don't want to run it down there on the slicks. I don't want to go that fast in the slicks with it, and it's going to tear up the slicks pretty bad. So I need to find some sort of radial just to get me by. I need to put my catch cam back on, but other than that, she's pretty much ready to go. So we'll see what we can do tomorrow, but that's going to be it for tonight, guys. Like I said, gonna try to make it to the airstrip attack, run the hatch in the half-mile for the first time, and if we make it out, then it's gonna be a blast, but no guarantee on that. But I'm gonna do whatever I can to make it out there. It's gonna be it for tonight, guys. As always, thanks for watching.